Hello student, today we will discuss about the circulatory system. Okay, before going to discuss about the circulatory system, first we know what is the means of circulation. Okay, circulation, circulation. So the circulation is simply means moving or movements. Okay, movement. So what about what movement we are talking? So the mainly movement of blood. Okay, so the movement of blood is we are going to discuss. So the circulation means movement of blood in our body. Movement of blood in our body is known as circulation. But here we are discussing about a system. So the system which help in moving the movement of blood in our body, so that system is known as the circulatory system. Okay, so the system which involve sorry involve in circulation of blood. Okay, so this is the called circulatory system, means the system which involved in circulation of blood is known as the circulatory system. And I have already told you what means of circulation. So the circulation basically simply means the movement about the blood, because we are discussing about the circulatory system, and this system is present in our body or human body or any animals. Okay, so the blood movement in our body is known as the circulation. But here we are discussing about the system, means circulatory system. So the system which involved in the circulation of blood in our body is known as the circulatory system. Okay, so in circulatory system we will discuss about two things. First one is the blood, and second one is the main circulatory organ, that is the heart. I hope you have studies before about the blood, because today we will discuss only about the major organ of the circulatory system, which one is the heart. Okay, but I will tell you superficial information about the blood. So we are going to discuss next one is the blood. Okay, so the blood, I'm not going to deal in detail about the blood. I'm telling you only the superficial information about the blood. So the if you will study about the blood, so the blood is formed with two things. First one is the blood cells, and second one is the plasma. Okay, in blood cell you will learn about there are three types of blood cells. One is the RBC, first one is the RBC, and second one is the WBC, and third one is the platelets. Okay, so that there are three components, or you can say there are three types of blood cells present in our body. First one is the RBC. RBC means its full form is red blood cells. Okay, and second one is the WBC, and full form of the WBC is white blood cells. Corpuscles you can say also corpuscles, but here cells also you can say. It depends on, you can say corpuscle, red blood cells, or red blood corpuscles, or white blood corpuscles. Okay, so third one is the platelets. So here you will study about the detail in the RBC and WBC and platelets, its function, its size, its count, how many it counts present in adults, how many counts present in newborn, in women. There are variations of RBC, WBC and platelets in which going to present according to their age. Like in male it's higher quantity of RBC and WBC and platelets, but in female there is less quantity of from the to the male. So that is I think 5.5 mm cube, millions mm cube RBC present in adult. So these are details you have studied before. Now today we will discuss only about the circulatory system. So okay, so the next topic here, okay, I will take a new slide. Okay. So the circulatory system we will discuss mainly about two things. First one is the blood and second one is the main circulatory organ. And what is the main circulatory organ? That is heart. Okay, so heart is the main circulatory organ. Because of it all the blood are pumped in whole our body. Okay, so we will discuss about the function, how it's pumped, how it's performed its function, how it maintains the blood pressure. Everything we are going to discuss in this topic. So I told you already that you have studied about the blood and its type and its quantity and size, everything. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the circulatory organ, that is heart. Okay, so the before going to start, we know or we going to know about some key feature or key function of the or key knowledge or key information, whatever you want to say. So key information about the heart. So it's the main circulatory organ. It always pump, okay, it always pump blood without stopping. Means this organ in our body which never stops its function. If it will start its function, that it may cause the death of any animals, any humans. So when you are going to birth, from the birth to the whole life span and till your death, it's always continuously start functioning and never stop throughout the life. Okay, so this is the main function of the blood. Some more points are here. During pumping, it delivers CO2 to the lungs and oxygen to the cells. Okay, so this is the key feature of the heart, which during the pumping it provides the CO2 to the lungs and also it holds or take the oxygen gas from the lungs and deliver to the cells. Okay, and the next point I have already told that in this two points all included. First one is that it took the CO2 from lungs and oxygen. Both gases is took from the lungs and oxygen is delivered to the cells, and from cells. And okay, so the next I will tell you what is the circulation. In circulation you will very clarify that how it comes into the CO2 comes goes to the lungs, and from the lungs is moves outside our body, and how oxygen took in our lungs, and from the lungs it transport in our blood, and blood transport in whole our body. So this is the circulation part. I will tell you detail. We are discussing here about the heart, so we will discuss only the key function of the heart. Circulation is the different topic. Okay, so the heart, main circulatory organ is the heart, and it pumps the blood without stopping. Okay, and main function of the blood during the pumping, it delivers oxygen to the cells and delivers CO2 to the lungs. Okay, so next, what is the location of heart? It present in between the lungs. Okay, I am going to draw diagram here, please consider it present in the lungs. Okay, so this is the your lungs. Okay, so the heart will be present here. It is the rough diagram of heart. So the in between the lungs, heart present in chest cavity. This is the chest cavity, this is the sternum, and these are the ribs. And this region is known as chest region or thoracic region, you can say. So the location of heart is heart present in the chest region in between the lungs. Okay, and it is slightly tilted toward the left. Tilted means it little bits bend towards the left side. Okay, so this heart is slightly tilted toward the left side and present in the chest cavity in between the lungs. Okay, so it's the location of the heart. Then what is the size and what is the shape? Okay, so the next slider, so it says shape of the heart is fist shape. Fist means this is the fist. Okay, so the shape of the heart is fist shape. Okay, this is a boxing fist, so you can say its shape is fist shape. And its size, and what is the size? So length, width, thickness. Okay, so the length of heart is 12 centimeter, and width, okay, let me write clear. Okay, so the length of heart is 12 centimeter, and width is about 8.2 or 8.6 something, 8.6 centimeter. Okay, this is the width. And thickness of heart is I think 6 centimeter. So this is the size of heart, and I have told you what is the shape. Shape is the fist shape, and size is the length is 12 centimeter, width is 8.6 centimeter, and thickness is nearly 6 centimeter. Okay, and the weight, this is the most important question about the heart. What is the weight of heart? That is the 280 grams to 340 gram. Okay, this is the weight, shape, size, location. Okay, these all about the heart information. Now we are going to discuss about the structure of heart. Okay, think you have understand. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the structure of heart. Okay, please listen very carefully what is the structure. Now then you will clarify where is the chambers, where is the septum, everything you will going to confirm. So pay attention. Okay, so I'm going to very rough diagram of the heart. Okay, suppose this is your heart. Okay, in heart there are four chamber. There are four chamber. One is this one, second, third and fourth. So in heart there are four chamber, two upper chamber which are smaller. Listen, two upper chamber which are smaller and known as atria. Okay, this is atria. So the atria is present in upper side and it is smaller than ventricles, and these are the two chamber which is present in lower side which are bigger than the atria. Okay, so this is the ventricle. Okay, so now heart consists of four chamber. Two is smaller which is present in upper side which is known as atria, and two bigger size chamber which is present below of atria which is known as the ventricle. Okay, atria, here I am telling you some points. Atria present upper side and it is smaller. Okay, ventricle present at lower side and it is bigger than atria. Okay, so these are the information. Now there is a septum. One septum present. I am going to change the color. So septum is present here. One septum in between the atria. Okay, this one is the first septum. This septum is present in between the atria, so it is called as the interatrial septum. Okay, why this is called atrial septum? Because this septum is present in between the atria, so that's why it's called as the interatrial septum. Now the second septum is present here. Okay, so the second present here which is in between the, just wait. Okay, this is the septum which is present in between the ventricles. That's why its name is interventricular septum. Okay, so two septum, one septum is present in between the atria, so it's called as the interatrial system, and second septum is present in between the ventricles, that's why it's known as intervertical system. And third septum is present in between the atria and ventricle. Okay, so third septum is this one. It's present in between the atria and ventricle, that's why its name is interventricular septum. Interventricular septum. Okay, so I have told you there are three type of septum present in the heart. One septum present in between the atria, and second septum present in between the ventricles, and third one is the present in between the atria and ventricle. According to presence of the septum, its name is here. Interatrial system present in between the atria, that's why its name is the interventricular septum, and the interventricular septum present in between the ventricles, that's why its name is the interventricular septum, and the third septum is present in between the atria and ventricle, that's why its name is the anteroventricular septum. Okay, so it's all about the septum. And third structure present in heart, that is the wall. Okay, so this is the right atria, this one is the left atria. Similarly here, this is the right ventricle and this one is the left ventricle. Okay, now I'm going to tell you about the wall of the heart. So there are two walls present in the heart. First one is the tricuspid wall and second one is the bicuspid wall. Okay, so the tricuspid wall present in between the right atria and right ventricle. So the first wall, okay, let me change. So first wall present in right in between, okay, in between right atria and right ventricle is known as tricuspid wall. Okay, the second wall present in between left atria and left ventricle is known as bicuspid wall. Okay, so about your level, according to your level, this is the very sufficient information about the heart structure. So I am going to repeat once again. So this is the structure of heart. In heart there are two chamber, two chamber which is present upper side are smaller and known as the atria. Okay, and two structure present below the atria is known as the ventricle, and this ventricle is bigger than the atria. And there are three types of three septum present in the heart. One is the interatrial septum, and second one the interventricular septum, and third one is the interatrial ventricular septum. Interatrial ventricular. Okay, this is, and two wall is also present in heart. First wall is present in between the right atria and a right ventricle is known as the tricuspid wall, and second wall is present in between the left atria and left ventricle, which is known as a bicuspid wall. Okay, so this is the all information about the structure of heart. Now we are going to discuss the next topic about the process of circulation, because we have studies about the structure of heart. Now the next topic we are going to discuss about the process of circulation. Process of circulation basically means how the blood is collected from the tissue and how it carries the food and oxygen from the lungs and from the intestine and deliver it to the cells, and how it collect the CO2 from the tissue side, and we circulate to the lung side and transport transfer to the lungs, and these lungs is remove the CO2 from our body. So this is the simple meaning of the circulation process, but we are going to clearly identify what is the organ, what is the atria, and which is ventricles, are these involvement. So now we are going to start. Let me draw. This one is your lungs. Okay, this is the lungs. This is the heart. Okay, this is the rough diagram. Okay, this is heart and this is your lungs. Okay, one suppose here is the body, here is your body. Okay, this one is the body. Okay, so this is the rough diagram about the process of circulation. Now I am going to explain about the process of circulation. Okay, so let me label. This is the pulmonary artery, pulmonary, sorry, pulmonary vein. Okay, and this is the pulmonary artery. Okay, and this is aorta, and this one is your lungs, and this is heart, and this one is the body. Okay, now I'm going to explain how our blood are mixed with the CO2 and oxygen and how it circulate in throughout the body. Okay, suppose from here every cells and every tissue are going to respiration. Okay, if any tissue or any cells performing the respiration process, and in the respiration oxygen is going to take inside and the CO2 is removing from the body, means if body is going to perform respiration, means our tissue and our cells also will perform the function of respiration. And if cells is performing the respiration, then cells will also take the oxygen and remove the CO2 gas. Now this CO2 gas is very toxic for our body. It has to be removed from the body instantly. So from the body CO2 is mixed in our blood. Okay, this one is the CO2. CO2 is mixed in blood, and this blood is collected from our body, is transported into the right atria. First, every blood is collected from all over the body part and transport into the right atria. Okay, okay, so this is the right atria. And now this blood which is deoxygenated, means which is mixed with the CO2 gas, When the blood is mixed with the CO2 gas, that blood is known as the deoxygenated blood, because deoxygenated means D means absence and oxygen means oxygen. So the blood which is absence of oxygen is known as the deoxygenated blood. Okay, this deoxygenated blood present in the right atria. Now from the tricuspid valve, which I have already explained in the structure of heart, there are two types of valve present in the structure. One is the tricuspid valve and second one is the bicuspid valve. So in right atria and right ventricle present in between these tricuspid valve, so the blood is moved from the right atria to the right ventricle through this tricuspid valve. Okay, now the deoxygenated blood is reached in the right ventricle, and from here right ventricle, this deoxygenated blood will move and will reach to the lungs. This one is the lung, and here lungs, whatever CO2 present in blood will be transferred into our lungs. Okay, so you have learned about the how CO2 is transferred towards the lung. Now all the CO2 have transferred into the lungs, and also simultaneously we will take the oxygen gas during the respiration and remove the CO2 gas. Now we are taking the CO2 gas from by the respiration process, and this oxygen gas will transfer into our blood. Okay. Now this blood is mixed with the oxygen, then here blood whatever will be present will be known as oxygenated blood. Oxygenated means a blood which is mixed with the oxygen is known as oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood means pure blood. Okay, this pure blood will be transferred through the pulmonary veins toward the left atria of the heart. Okay, listen very carefully. This blood, oxygenated blood, will transfer via pulmonary veins into the left atria. Now this oxygenated blood will pass from the left atria to the left ventricle via bicuspid valve. Now this oxygenated blood have reached in our left ventricle. Now from the left ventricle it will be pumped into the aorta, and through the aorta it will be circulate in our whole body. Okay, so this is the whole process of circulation. I am going to tell you again, listen very carefully. This is our lungs. Okay, this is lung, and this is our heart, and this is our body. All lungs, body and heart is correlated or very closely related with the artery and veins. Okay, now we are going to start from the body. If body is full of CO2, then CO2 is very necessary to remove from the body. So this CO2 is transfer into the blood, and this deoxygenated blood is present into first in right atria of the heart. So now from here right blood will be transferred into the right ventricle via the tricuspid valve. Okay, now from the right ventricle this blood is transferred towards the lungs, and here when this deoxygenated blood will reach to the lungs, then here this blood which loaded by the CO2 gas, this CO2 gas will transfer to the our lungs, then this lungs will remove the CO2 gas from the body. Simultaneously, when we are going to remove CO2 gas, and oxygen gas will take inside, and this oxygen gas will transfer into the blood. Now this blood is pure, means which is mixed by the oxygen, so it's also known as the oxygenated blood. So this oxygenated blood will transfer via the pulmonary veins. Here pulmonary veins, okay, will transfer into the left atria. Okay, this left atria is full of oxygenated blood, means in right atria always present the oxygenated blood. Now this oxygenated blood will transfer into the left atria through the bicuspid wall, and from the left atria it flow or it pumped into the all over body. So this is the very simple way how to explain this about the circulation process. I am going to tell you about the flow diagram. From the flow diagram you can easily understand what is the process and how it transfer from the lungs, from the body, from the heart. Okay, so suppose this is your lungs. From the lungs blood is transferred first into the via pulmonary vein to the left atria. Left atria means left atria. Okay, so from the pulmonary veins it transfer into the left atria. From left atria it will transfer into left ventricle, and from the left ventricle, okay, it transfer from the aorta and from the aorta it pumped into the body. Okay, this is the one way circulation. And the second way circulation, from the body first it will pumped into the from the vena cava into the right atria, from the right atria to the right ventricle, and from the right ventricle it pumped in via the pulmonary artery, and from pulmonary artery it's transfer into the blood. So this is the flow diagram through which you can easily understand. Okay, so the first we are blood which is present in the lungs, which firstly will transfer via the pulmonary veins into the left ventricle. From the left ventricle it transfer into left atria, from left atria to right ventricle, and from right ventricle it pump into the aorta, and from by aorta it flow or it pumped in our body. Okay, so from body it is collected from the body, and via vena cava it transfer into the right atria, from right atria to right ventricle, and then right ventricle it pumped into the lungs via the pulmonary artery. So this is the whole process about the circulation. Okay, so next topic we will discuss in next class. Okay, thank you.